grew up in northern Wisconsin, Eau Claire, Wisconsin. We were a very close-knit family. When it was summertime, springtime, we all planted the garden together. As soon as the ice melted, we were on the river or in the lake swimming, fished and hunted year-round. You couldn't get me in the house or in the chair. So I was probably one of the few kids that actually hated cartoons. I couldn't keep myself still. So I was always going constantly. And in my early 20s, I had 4 pretty major accidents. I was in a head-on car accident. I actually went through the glass. Second accident, drunk guy pulled out in front of me. I T-boned him. The third accident was by far the worst. I was assaulted by a gang and left for dead with my head split open and unconscious. And then I had a lifting injury after that tore muscles in my lower back so badly that I couldn't move a muscle for 21 days. They wondered if I was ever going to walk again normally. Everything I did caused tremendous pain. So if I would go out and do anything athletic at all, I'd be in bed for 3 days recovering. And by the time I was in my early 30s, it was just, I just wanted to end it. I just couldn't handle it anymore. Just couldn't deal with the pain. Obviously, after my injuries, the first person I went to see was my chiropractor. But I realized that, my chiropractor couldn't put me together. So I really did an exhaustive search for better chiropractors, more educated, more knowledgeable, and I traveled the country going to see them. They used a lot of different modalities. Everything that exists in the world of chiropractic, alternative or complementary modalities I've done. It didn't matter what I tried, I never got better. It never reduced the pain in my body. Maybe it lasted an hour, and in most cases it didn't work at all. But because of the severity of the pain and the fact that I couldn't sleep, I really wasn't left with any other option other than to keep looking and searching the world over. When I discovered Professor Pappas's website, he really told me things that I'd never studied or read before. And that's really, his development and advancement of this category of technology in Europe is what really drove me to learn more about it. I was so fascinated by what I read online that I called some practitioners in Europe. And they all said the same thing. Oh, your story? It's not a problem. We can help you with that. And so, thinking that was too good to be true, I started asking to talk to their patients or people that had stories like mine. And they were very open and willing to let me talk to these people. So person after person after person who had stories similar to mine, injuries similar to mine, all said, I tried it, I've done it, and I got, near total relief, if not complete relief. And it was just, I remember that time period, those few weeks in my life. It was like, I finally arrived after all of these years, 20-some years of searching. I quickly discovered that the PEMF wasn't available for purchase in the United States. Although there were people that owned them here and used them, I couldn't buy one and acquire one for myself, and that's what I wanted to do. So I found somebody that was making them out of a shed in their backyard, and I bought a system, and I started experiencing it. And I had the same experience as all the people that I'd been talking to. On the first day, it erased 100% of the pain out of my body. That day was Friday, September 29th of 2006. I went to sleep that night with 0 pain for the first time in over 20 years. Again, I remember that night. I remember waking up going, oh my goodness, it felt like a miracle to me. I was just beside myself. Obviously, what went through my mind was how many people that had stories like mine that were living a life that was similar to mine. I mean, I was consumed. I was consumed by my experience and the fact that how exciting it would be to help the rest of the world have a similar experience. I realized as amazing as it was, it had some pretty serious flaws. And so the other thing is, it looked like it came from 1940. I mean, there was nothing current, there was nothing, up to date, and I could quickly see that there was so much possibility for advancing and improving the technology. Even with Professor Pappas's system, the PEMF, I said, and I thought, well, wait a minute. The way he's using it is so limited, and it certainly can be expanded. So I applied myself to, to that task, and my product line today is clearly and absolutely the most advanced system in the world. You know, there isn't any one great story out there. If it's your experience and your issue makes your life absolutely miserable, maybe you can't sleep or you can't function some way, somehow. I mean, I've met people that had foot pain so bad that they couldn't walk. And when you step back and you think about that, how that limits you. Well, it's just a foot, it's just foot pain. You're not dying of a disease or something. But when they get great relief and it's a life-changing experience for them, it becomes the greatest story. What makes me frustrated is the fact that we meet people every single day that have never heard of the technology, that desperately need it. I'll be out moving around in my day, whether it be at Starbucks, getting a coffee, or in the grocery store, and I see somebody clearly in pain and limping. And if I could, I would go and tap every one of those people on the shoulder and say, hey, tell me about your story. How did you get there? What's the issue here? And how is it affecting your life? Because I know that story, I've lived that story. So if I have any dream or idea for the future, is the fact that there's so many more people to help and so many more lives to affect. I just think that's really where the future lies for me. How do we get it out there so that it's accessible to a lot more people and a lot more people can enjoy the benefits?